Historically, FIG has not recovered the whole cost of electricity production, meaning that electricity generation has been operating at a loss and is heavily subsidized by other government revenues. This in turn has created a deficit. In 2021-22, the deficit stood at £1.38 million and was estimated to rise to approximately £1.54 million by June 2023. Electricity prices are normally reviewed by Standing Finance Committee on a quarterly basis, or if there is a significant change to costs. During the last Standing Finance Committee held earlier this month, several options regarding reducing the price of electricity and managing the deficit were discussed.
We do have the options of extending the length of time over which we recovered the deficit. We had the option of writing off some of that deficit, and so we've looked at all those options to try and make sure that we can bring down the price of electricity to a reasonable sum. And also, of course, the price of diesel has over the last year dropped significantly, so we are attempting to bring in measures that will reduce the price of electricity.
While the deficit is one of the reasons why the electricity prices are high, there are also depreciation charges, which impact the costs. According to the 2023-24 government estimates for the Public Works Department, Electricity Supply and the Power Station, depreciation will almost double by the 2025-26. Depreciation is an accounting method used to allocate the cost of a physical asset over its useful life. For example, imagine that I bought this house for £250,000. Instead of taking the whole sum from my account, I would rather spread the sum into smaller amounts over the lifespan of the house. Depreciation charge can be managed either by funding some assets by the government or by spreading the cost of an asset to a longer period, which doesn't exceed the useful life of the particular asset. So the smaller amounts are charged monthly over several years.
At the moment, the depreciation for the new power station has not been charged. We've got depreciation for the temporary power station, the temporary generators in there, but we're looking at how we will have to take an overall view about the new power station because of the cost of it and the length of time over which that power station will provide power to Stanley. So that's another conversation that we will have. That isn't something that we dealt with this time. We dealt with the short-term cost of electricity.
So in the case of the depreciation charge in the 2023-24 estimates for the Public Works Department Electricity Supply, we can see that the figure includes the temporary power station and the temporary generators. The unit rate of electricity is calculated on the user-pay basis, which considers the cost of production. The user-pay policy is when consumers pay the full cost of the goods that they consume.
With electricity, if you have large users, for instance, people using refrigerated cargo containers, etc., it is felt that we should be charging the full costs onto consumers, and that's a political decision that is made.
Looking at the papers of 2023-24 government estimates, it is hard to see the electricity price drop off anytime soon. The paper about writing off the electricity production deficit went to Executive Council this week, but the details won't be released for the next few weeks.